Howdy y'all, and welcome to Black's Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Whew. Alright. Man, looks like this axe has just about had it. Gonna need to get a new axe. So, I had zero time to do anything today. I actually ended up helping someone out for a couple of hours in the middle of my workday. Oh, look, I need everything. I need tools. Tools. I was like, what just happened? I need a new pickaxe, and I need a new fire axe. Those are going to take a while, so I might as well get down here and see if we can't find a new place to hunt up some stuff. Now I did hit up the one of these fancy houses. What's this over here that I've barely been near? I haven't been close enough to it to unlock both sides of the road. Let's go check that out. We might as well, right? So I figured I'd probably talk about some. I didn't get a chance to watch any television, anything, since last episode. I've really been wanting to watch Blame, which is a new anime that's up on Netflix, but I haven't got to it yet. Oh, you're still alive. You dead now. But yeah, we've been switching some stuff over at work this week, and so I've been busy with that. Oh, dang it, I didn't even see that guy. Stupid crawler. And obviously today when I went to finish work, um, not everything is in place yet because I was unable to submit some of my paperwork with the new system. So I have got to look into that, but I figured I would stop and do this first and get this done. Seeing as how tonight is my normal gaming group, and so yeah, it's with everything that's going on, it's been so busy today. Had a meeting that I was asked to sit in on, which was the favor I did. Was supposed to start at 3:30, and we didn't get started until close to 4, and of course that lasted till almost 5. And so that gets over. I was told that it would last like 30 minutes at the most. People, ugh. And, oh, my leg is broken too. I don't have any cloth on me, so we're gonna have to wait till I find some cloth. What's this place? Little store in here. We got anything good in this store? But, yeah, so not quite as far along today as I'd like to be with getting everything done and out of the way, but not too terrible. And because of some of the changeover in the holiday this week, I got work tomorrow too. Tomorrow's usually my day off. And then there's work stuff I do on Saturday and work stuff I do on Sunday. Looks like I'm not getting that day off this week. But what you gonna do? Yeah, let's see. Oh man, there is one thing I want to talk about. So I think I talk about my D&D stuff on here sometimes. So last night, once again, the one of the guys we played with couldn't make it Tuesday night, so we bumped our Tuesday night game to Wednesday night. And I tell you, our DM drives me crazy. So a lot of the game is just described to you, right? It's called Theater of the Mind, where you get the descriptions and then you're supposed to base your reactions off of the descriptions. And so we had, because the game is basically improv with dice, right? So you're pretending to be your character. The person running the game pretends to be all the characters except yours. And so we had worked with this woman, and we came back to talk to her, and and she was all crazy, and there was all this work going on, and which wasn't happening when we were there before, and we were only gone for a couple of days, so it's very suspicious. And so we went to see what was going on, and we dealt with her assistant a couple of times, and he, of course, is a horrible person to us every time we talk to him. And so we wanted to make sure everything was okay because we had done jobs for her before. And so, how long is it going to be before this is ready to go? Oh, it's ready to go. And so he went and talked to us. He said he didn't have to talk to us. There was no reason that he ever had to do anything with us again. And so, I mean, there aren't a lot of options when the guy who's supposed to be manning the front desk refused to speak with you. And so, snatched him up. Well, didn't snatch him up, just grabbed him and told him to go get his boss. And then she came out, and she had dealt with us before, and then she's all mad all of a sudden for no reason. And so we're not sure what's going on, and so my character is a rogue. Oh, look, I can use that. And so I took her out and tried to sneak into the woman's house to see if I could figure out what was going on while she was at work. And so our DM is describing what everything looks like. I'm describing what I want my character to do, and then he tells me, the dice rolls to make to see if it succeeds or not. And so, in my mind, my character is moving around behind the back of the house. He told me I didn't know where it was at. I'm like, well, we were told where it was at once before. And he's like, well, you know the general area it's at. And I'm like, okay. And so he has me check several houses before I finally find the one that I think is hers. And so I had specifically said that I wanted to sneak around the back of the houses. And so I'm like, okay, so I want to keep sneaking around back of the houses. I want to look for a window that might be unlocked. And he's like, okay, you find a window. I'm like, okay, can I test it to see if it's unlocked? He's like, it's unlocked. I'm like, okay, well, I open the window and slide in. And so I start looking around, and I eventually he says that I tripped an alarm on the unlocked window, and that really? And that the guards were coming, her guards were coming. And so I'm like, all right, well, they don't know I'm in the house. They just know an alarm has been tripped. And so I'm like, okay, well, then I'm going to sneak up the stairs. And he's like, okay. And what he wanted me to do, no, actually, I think what I said originally was, okay, well, I'm just going to go back out the window I came in, because I had said I sneak around the back of the house, And he said the guards were coming down the road, and I had intended for my character to come in the back of the house, and he instead had my character go in the front of the house. Only there was no point where he told me that. And so instead of going around the back of the house like I thought I was doing, I apparently walked down the road and walked right to her house and went in the front door, basically. So I couldn't go back out the window I had already opened because the guards were there. And I'm like, okay, so that irritated me a little bit. I'm like, how can I figure out what I'm doing with my character if you can't describe what's going on better? Uh, and that's not the one that irritated me the most, though, about the whole ordeal. And so I'm like, okay, well then, if they're coming up the road, they haven't made it to the house yet. I just see them coming. Then I'm gonna go up the stairs, and he's like, okay, well they're almost at the house. I'm like, yep, up the stairs. And what do I see? And he's like, well, there's a hallway, and it's shorter on the right-hand side and leads to a door, and it's longer on the left-hand side and leads to another door. I'm like, okay, I'm going to check the door closest to me. He's like, it's not locked. You open it. It's a bedroom. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to close that door and head to the other door. And he's like, well, they're in the house now looking on the first floor. I'm like, okay. And so he's like, well, that door's locked. I'm like, okay, I pick it. And so he's like, okay, roll to pick it. I succeeded. And so I'm like, okay, I go inside. He's like, you can hear the guards down below checking room to room, and one of them is starting up the stairs. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I see? And so he says, there's a desk with 2 drawers. And I'm like, okay, I checked the desk. He's like, well, they're locked, and you can hear the guard starting up the stairs. I'm like, okay. I locked the bedroom door, or I locked the office door. And he's like, the guard sees you. I'm like, okay, first off, the guard is coming up the stairs. I'm at the end of a hallway. There's no way the guard can see me. Still not the one that irritated me the most. And so I roll for stealth. I roll for locking the door. And somehow, even though the guard could not have seen me, he immediately comes to the door and starts busting down the door for the woman he works for, which doesn't make any sense. All they know is the window was opened. They haven't seen any evidence of anybody in the house. You wouldn't just run in and bust down a bedroom door, but whatever. Or an office door that's locked. Because if someone was breaking in, would they lock the door behind them? No, I don't think so. And so I'm like, okay, well, before he breaks in, he's like, what do you do? I'm like, okay. So what does the desk look like? He's like, the desk has got 2 drawers. They're both locked. I'm like, okay. I'm going to open one of the drawers before he comes in. He's like, all right, pick a drawer. I'm like, okay. And then he goes, the desk you see is ornate and has a drawer on the left, a drawer on the right, and a drawer in the middle. Now, he already told me there were only 2 drawers and that they were locked. So I'm assuming that the drawers are all locked. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to unlock the middle one. He's like, the middle one isn't locked. And I'm like, but you said there were 2 drawers and they were both locked, and then it switched to 3 drawers. And he's like, and now you're out of time. I'm like, so you added a drawer that wasn't locked. You added a drawer that wasn't locked, and then when I made my choice, proceeded to give me nothing because you didn't want me to find out the information about the woman that I was looking for. Because it goes like this repeatedly, over and over and over with this guy. This is the game where the rules change to favor his character and get worse for my characters every time. And because he's got to be the center of the show. And I've recently learned that the way he made his character is he did it, and I didn't know it because I'm fairly new to this. And turns out that the race he chose and the variant rule he used is used by min-maxers because it is considered the most powerful race to start with, because it gets to start with a feat, which no other race does, using the rules. And and so he didn't tell us that was even an option, of course, when we made our characters. And so only his character started with a feat. I'm like, well, I don't need a feat. Whatever. The game doesn't really play that difficult most of the time. And so we're in combat in a different section last night, and he's given his character the ability to move 50 squares. A normal character moves 30, so he can almost move double a normal character's movement. And he does this thing where even though his character is an up close and personal fighter, he runs away. He runs up and he hits, and then he runs away every time, so that everybody else gets hit by the creatures except him if he can arrange it. And it even goes so far as to, since he's also the DM, I do the same thing. I don't run away, but I DM and control a character, and I don't favor my character. And so he's like, oh, well, all these characters, all these bad guys are going to attack, and they're going to attack your two characters and ignore mine. Why? Well, because you attacked them. I'm like, your guy just attacked them too and did more damage than mine. Yeah, but your guys are closer now because mine moved back. Okay, and then he puts this guy right in the middle of it all at one point and has people run past him to get to my characters who haven't even hit them yet. And he almost killed my characters last night. I think one of them was down to 5 hit points, and the other one was down to 3 hit points. And while his character, his fighter character, his monk, ran from the front of combat behind our casters to make sure that nothing could attack him. He hid behind the robe wearers. They got a magic item in the first dungeon we went through, and the caster guys got it because only a caster can use it, and he's mad because he wanted it for his character, and then after reading through the directions for it, realized that he couldn't use it because he's not a caster. And so every day of game time, he makes the caster use charges off of it to use the special ability on him. Oh, he drives me crazy. But yeah, it was really irritating because my whole plan was to sneak into the place and just get her papers and take off with them. And then I don't even know what the point was, but he also stole an item from us with some kind of thief, and then made the thief so that we couldn't chase it. And it's not even an item that means anything to anybody, so I don't even know what the point of that was. I don't know why he was so adamant that it be stolen from us. I think he was mad because he wanted us to sell it in town, and we opted to keep it. And so he just took it away from us completely. Like, I don't know. He had them come while we were sleeping into an inn and break into 2 of the 3 rooms, and he realized that he couldn't sneak into the one room because my character doesn't sleep but 4 hours. And by the time he came in, my character had already... I sent my character to meditate because of their race earlier in the evening than everybody else so that she would be awake. And, not because I knew this was coming, just because that's her character. She's, you know, um, she's a street urchin who sleeps with her back to the wall kind of thing, and so she, which would make sense. And so she doesn't like for everybody to be asleep at the same time. And I didn't booby trap the doors or anything, but apparently I'm gonna have to start doing that now. Oh, that's terrible. 12,000, does that say? Yeah. I wonder if I can get in through the... Where'd that guy come from? Oh, hey, look. I'll go in through the ceiling. Yeah, so my character woke up and then he's like, yeah, there's a large sound in the room next to yours and you know it belongs to the caster. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, so does it sound like just normal night noise or does it sound unusual? He's like, it sounds unusual. I'm like, okay, so then she'll go and check. Nobody gets to roll to detect this guy, and the only reason my character even knew about it was because she was awake. And so when she opened the door, she sees the thief, and so I had her yell out. And, yeah, this place is awfully heavily defended for there not to be anything in here. This place is like a... fortress, man. Every block is... Oh, dang it. I was going to shoot through the wall. Not happening. Oh, this would be the time for you to break. I could get out and get away. Ah ha ha. I got away. And so, we couldn't find that it had taken anything except, oh, you know, that one kind of also went the, your descriptions leave much to be desired route. Because once again, we don't have a map or anything at this point, because we only use maps during major combat events, and the rest of it is described to you. And so the thief's in the room. My thief yells that she sees someone. That thief goes out the window. My thief also goes out the window immediately behind it. And somehow, by the time she landed on the ground, that other thief had run, and I didn't even get to react. He's like, "Yeah, you used up all your actions and movements, and so it vanishes." I'm like, okay, was it vanishes because it's reached the edge of my eyesight? It's dark out. I'm like, yeah, okay, I got dark vision like everybody else in the group does, because it's a species thing. And he's like, and he doesn't know what to do with that. And I'm like, well, was it more than 60 feet away from me in the darkness, and that's why it vanished, or did it just disappear while it's still within range of my sight? Oh, well, it disappeared, and you don't know where it went to. I'm like, okay. You run over to check the spot where it's at. Okay. It's not there. Well, of course it's not there. I just saw it vanish. But I'm not sure how my thief, who would be as fast or faster than the thief that got away, possibly faster depending on race. As an elf, she gets 35 feet of movement, which is, or is it 35 feet? Yeah, 35 feet. And normal is 30. Um, and so she'd be at least as fast as, probably, possibly. And yeah, I don't know, but we killed a necromancer and got his spell book, and so the thief only took that spell book, which is really bizarre because it has nothing to do with anything. Um, it literally, because we're following a module, and I've now read through the module. Um, just because he keeps missing things and then retconning, going back over what he said he was doing, I wanted to see what kind of other things he'd missed. Like the fact that at least two of the people were supposed to offer us things that they didn't offer us because he didn't read careful enough. And yeah. I mean, I still kind of have fun with it. Just you know, it's hard to play a game where you never know what the rules are going to be. The rules keep changing from time to time, and I'm just like, no idea what's going on. Don't know what my character is going to be allowed to do this time. Ooh, sledgehammer schematic. That'll be fun. Do I have enough stuff to make another? Yeah. Let me make another iron pickaxe here. Hopefully I'm going to wind up with enough skill points here pretty quick to be able to unlock steel. I don't do a lot with my construction tools, though. I really need to be using this dang wrench more, I think. But, yeah, I thought we were dead the first fight we did for the night, because I failed my stealth rolls, and... Well, I also didn't expect the only fighter... We have a fighter, a healer, a thief, and a caster. Traditional makeup. Although my healer is a half fighter, just because of the type of healer they are. They're not a paladin, but it's a war cleric, and it's actually pretty heavily armored, which is nice. There's those points. But yeah, I just couldn't believe he kept jumping in and out and in and out of the fight and just leaving me. Yeah, see, I need 30 points to unlock steel, and I need another 12 points in construction tools. I think this puts up construction tools, right? But oh, it was driving me crazy. In and out, in and out, in and out. I was really shocked the one time when when he ran behind the caster. I'm like, who runs behind the caster? He's the squishiest one of us all. Pretty sure behind the caster is not where you're supposed to be hiding. But, yeah. Man, I didn't realize I was just dumping things all over the ground. Alright, well, I think this is a good spot to call it, so click, leave your like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. We'll talk to you later.